Today's video is going to be about how you can tell which type of AI models that your laptop or computer is able to handle locally, or as in download it to your machine so it's not connected to the internet for anyone else to see your data. So the first thing you have to know is how much RAM or how much memory you have on your machine, which the AI models are going to use when they're running. So if you can see right now, my machine has 31.7 gigabytes of RAM. That actually is a lot for a regular computer. Most normal laptops usually come with about 8 gigabytes of memory. So running an AI model locally on like a Chromebook for $100 may not be the best way to go. So already I'm able to have a lot of free memory that my AI models can work with. Then I'm going to go over to the types of AI models that I have on my machine currently. So right now I have Tiny Llama, which is trained on 1.1 billion parameters, and Phi-3 Mini, which is trained on 3.8 billion parameters, both on my machine. And just to give you guys comparison, ChatGPT, which most people use, is trained on about 1.1 trillion parameters. So much larger than these two models here. So one of the ways that you can tell how these models are going to perform on your machine is to see how much RAM they take up in comparison to what you have available. So as you can see right now, Tiny Llama takes about 2 to 3 gigs of RAM to run, and with that being so small, it's able to run very quick on just my laptop alone. And then Phi-3, which is more than 3 times the size as Tiny Llama, it's able to run with about 6 to 8 gigs of RAM, which is, like I said, for a laptop the size of mine, is very doable. Now, as I mentioned earlier, with most laptops being about 8 gigs of RAM, running either of these models, especially being the fact that most laptops are using about 6 to 8 gigs of RAM just normally with no AI models running. So that's like if you have your internet open, like your Google Chrome open, it's already using 6 to 8 gigs of RAM. So just with a regular laptop, you'd already run out of space to be able to run your AI models. Now, here's the other parts where it comes down to, hey, I got small models, I can just use those. That's not necessarily true for every use case. Now I can tell you, for instance, Phi-3 Mini, which is 3 times the size as Tiny Llama, is a lot smarter of an AI model than Tiny Llama is. And that's just because it's trained on so many more parameters. So I'm going to actually show you those both in real time. So to run these models, I'm going to put in this command that you see at the bottom, Ollama run Tiny Llama, and this is going to actually start Tiny Llama to running, and it's going to be pulling from another piece of software called Ollama, as you see. So now that's running, and I'm just going to be able to ask it whatever type of questions that I want. So I can say something like, how many days of the week start with the letter S? And let's see the response that we get. Now, instead of you guys actually having to read this entire response that Tiny Llama gave out, I will tell you that it doesn't actually answer the question. So that, as you can see, this simple question like this, Tiny Llama wasn't able to get. Now I'm going to go ahead and start running Phi-3 Mini, and it's going to be with this command that you see at the bottom, Ollama run Phi-3 Mini. Now I'm going to go ahead and ask it the same question. Now very quickly, Phi-3 Mini was able to tell me 2 days of the week start with the letter S, Saturday and Sunday. So we can see that this model is definitely smarter. Now, because I have a machine that has a larger amount of RAM, I'm able to host this smart machine. But if I had something with, let's say, 16 gigabytes of RAM, I'd probably have to settle with something like Tiny Llama and have to put up with bad responses on a almost regular basis. Now, there are ways that companies are able to run the big open source local models like a ChatGPT or a DeepSeek, but they have much higher budgets than I do, and we're not going to go over how to do that in this video today. But if you like what you saw and you have any questions, or your company wants to try and start using AI locally, then message me here on LinkedIn. Thanks for watching. Have a nice night.